Get ready for the trip of a lifetime. This is the series with the most incredible and shocking holiday behaviour. Capturing stupid antics on smartphones. With a camera in every tourist pocket, we're getting into the action like never before. Raw, real, and uncensored. This is World's Wildest Holidays. Coming up, we've got hell-raising hens, stunningly stupid stags, and the world's most dangerous holidaymaker.
3-4 days earlier, been seeing my blokes on a building site. 3 days later, I'm watching a battle go off.
When we go on holiday, it's great to try new experiences. Different food, different scenery, and of course, different wildlife. Like monkeys, for instance. Aw, isn't he cuddly? But the thing about that monkey is, there's only one of him. When there's 500 of him, they're not so cute. This is Thailand, where every evening hundreds of monkeys hang about looking for trouble. Yeah, probably smoking weed and Snapchatting rude photos to each other. They're not too much bother when they're all just sitting still. But when the fireworks go off, it's monkey mayhem. Yes, our hairy cousins can be big trouble for holidaymakers, especially when they think you've got cheesy whatsits hidden in your pants. Oh, the bare-faced cheek of it. Anytime you want to pull your pants up's fine. No pressure. But why steal bananas on the beach when there's luxury accommodation available down the road?
No, don't steal our...
When the holidaying couple returned to their hotel room in Mexico, this lanky sod was trying to break into the minibar.
Oh, there's a monkey in our room.
Out.
Come on, go.
Out, out, out.
Ah, right. Bit of manspreading now, is it?
Get out.
Out.
I mean, macaques, I can take them or leave them. Marmosets I've got a lot of time for. But spider monkeys, oh God, they are so arrogant.
You know, whip it?
No, yeah, with the...
He's just gonna grab it.
Yeah, very relaxed. Oh, but he is not leaving until he gets a gin and tonic and a Toblerone. At least that monkey didn't smash the place up. When South African Howard Fyvie rented a house in the country with some friends, he hadn't reckoned on hairy neighbours from hell.
This is a holiday I will never forget, and I have the footage to prove it.
Okay, we have a whole bunch of baboons inside this house.
Hang on, what did he say?
Now, okay, we have a whole bunch of baboons inside this house.
Balloons? Inside a house?
I realized something was wrong the moment I heard a scream coming from outside. One of my friends runs into the house and says, "Guys, the neighbor's house is being invaded by a troop of baboons."
Oh, baboons, of course.
Here we have some baboons in a kitchen, just hanging out.
So me and my friend Robin and Brian, we run outside and we grab whatever we can around us to go and fight off these baboons.
Ah, the broom of baboon doom. But unless the absent owners had left the baboons with their own set of keys, they must have found their way in somehow.
You see, the neighbors had made a fatal error. They were away for the weekend and they left one window in their house open. So me and my friends run across, we get to the house and we realize that the baboons have been invading for some time. The baboons are in the kitchen, they're on the counters, they're eating through the fridge, they're opening up cans of food, fruit, packets of chips. They're having a field day.
What did you expect they were going to do? Wash up after themselves? When faced with a house full of feasting baboons, most of us would let them get on with trashing the house next door. But not Howard. He reckons he can take them.
So me and my friends decided, let's climb inside and let's get those baboons out.
Y'all better recognize who's here tonight. Get out of here. Get out of here. Huh? You want to play with my piece of cat, yo?
What does a monkey professional make of the baboon's beastly behaviour?
These monkeys probably be like a group of males that are roaming around together, and they are going to be like a gang. They're going around stealing things, causing trouble, fighting with other gangs of baboons. So, you know, these guys are going to be het up on testosterone. they're going to be looking for a fight, and they'd be happy to do it with a human as well.
Unluckily for the baboons, Howard and his mates' hormones were raging too.
It's true, they are dangerous. They can even rip the arms off a full-grown human being. But in the words of Han Solo, never tell me the odds.
The odds are 2 to 1 you get your arm ripped off. Your call, Howard.
Get out of here. Huh? You want to play with my piece of cat? Yo, get your ass out of here.
Was I afraid? Yes. Did I have time to think about being afraid? Hell no. I just ran in there with my broom.
Armed only with a broom and an attitude, he was out to show those baboons who was boss. And for now, it seemed to be working.
Hey, good sec.
But, like any good action movie, in the final act, Howard had to come face to face with the ringleader of this home-trashing gang.
In the end, it was me and one remaining alpha male baboon.
Okay. I still see one of the big ones down here.
So I go downstairs and I find him hiding in the bathroom. He's got a piece of cabbage or something.
Okay, this is the last baboon in the house. He's not afraid.
And I take the broom and I'm like,
Come on, get out of here. Get out of here. You want to play with us?
He is talking to it like it's definitely going to understand him, and I'm pretty sure that it doesn't understand a word he's saying. In fact, to him, he's just making lots of noise and probably agitating him even more.
Out that door. Out that door now.
Suddenly, he barks at me. And I suddenly get really, really scared. At that moment, I realized it's not a good idea to corner a full-grown baboon on holiday. Not a good idea.
Warning, poking an angry baboon with a broom can be fatal.
I'm going to step out for a second. You just take care.
Yeah, Howard, you're right. He's not really doing any harm, is he? Probably just borrowing some moisturizer or something.
He's still inside there. There we go. He's out. He's out. He's out. That man rocks.
Eventually, even the biggest baboon in the jungle realized it was time to make an exit. But when he put his video up on YouTube, Howard and his housebreaking baboons were a worldwide hit.
This was one wild holiday. Man, for months afterwards, everybody kept calling me the baboon guy. My friends would like mock me and say, you're the guy who went on holiday and got attacked by baboons. I'm never gonna let this down. This is one holiday I'm gonna be living with for the rest of my life.
It might have been wild, but was it wise to take on a troop of rampaging baboons?
If that ever does happen to you when you're on holiday, I think probably shut the door and leave the house. That would be my top tip, really.
But before we move on, here's another member of the animal kingdom caught on a camera phone, this time making friends with a young girl. Ah, that's nice. Can you guess what happened next? Let's find out. Lunchtime!
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Perhaps he mistook her for a large cod in a dress. Happily, the girl was uninjured.
Wow. Are you all right?
Although the man who rescued her totally ruined his mobile phone. Thailand has been an A-list destination for those seeking adventure and excitement for decades. But as well as romantic landscapes and ancient temples, it's also the place to go if you're looking for an absolutely banging party. Once a month, 30,000 tourists get together on the island of Koh Phangan for a crazy time on the beach, with plenty of alcohol, dancing, and the chance to wear some really dodgy outfits in public. I mean, look at the state of them. When you're drunk in a foreign country wearing nothing but swimming shorts, it's probably very tempting to have a go at skipping over a massive burning rope. Oh, dear. Or just skip the party and go straight to the burns unit, whatever you prefer. Handily, there's no need to bother with toilets when you've got the entire ocean at your disposal. And after an evening of full moon fun, the taxi home can be a bit of an ordeal. And over she goes. At least she's still got her pants on. Unlike this couple, who were spotted canoodling in the sea near Pattaya Beach. Unfortunately for them, they were also spotted by the local police, who suspected them of having more than just a kiss and a cuddle. Reportedly, they were promptly arrested and fined for public indecency. The police did let them put some clothes on first, though, which was very generous. Half naked, in custody, and now laughed at by the local teenagers. What a cracking holiday. If you still fancy some fun in the water, maybe try one of the organised raft parties, where tourists pay good money to float around to a soundtrack of 15-year-old trance tunes. This form of entertainment is very eco-friendly. It's entirely powered by half-hearted twerking. It really is as much fun as it looks. Which isn't much. Let's move on, shall we? With some more floating. These two Brits realised they'd made a big mistake when they booked a cheap off-season holiday in Thailand in the middle of monsoon season. But they weren't going to let a little thing like a totally flooded street stop their fun. The hotel pool might be out of commission, but the kids' rubber rings they packed came in very handy. The great thing about this sport is that not only is there a high risk of drowning or being swept out to sea, there's a pretty good chance of dysentery too.
Get some cat tablets, okay? You do that, kid. I'm just gonna...
There's going against the flow, and then there's paddling upstream against a tide of sewage. Now, holidays in Thailand can take an unexpected turn. When Graham Holland went to visit his mother, what should have been a relaxing break soon turned into a nightmare in paradise when Graham had a terrible accident.
We had a lovely day, just nice chill-out music on the balcony, barbecue in front of my house, tables and chairs, nice food, couple of beers, good laugh, all good company.
Sounds like the perfect day.
And then in the evening, me and Graham lied down on my big king-size bed and started to watch a movie on Netflix, and I fell asleep.
But when Graham hopped on his moped to go back to the hotel, things quickly took a turn for the worse.
Next thing I woke up to my door being knocked. Really knocked. I thought, oh God, who's making that noise at this time? And then opened the door. Come now, Malia, come now, Malia. Graham's bike broken, Graham's broken, the bike's broken.
I was coming down and we're on the main road, so I had right away, and a taxi's pulled out. I remember pressing both brakes to avoid an accident, you know, and then bang.
He's hit the curb on the bike, and his head just bounced on his head on the pavement, so his head stuck everything.
Oh, that sounds gruesome.
I split my head open and half my scalp was hanging off.
OK, Graham, I've got it.
Just flopped down and blood was splitting everywhere. It's like something out of a horror movie.
Yeah, thanks, Maria.
My cousin Joe said he'd seen pictures and he said he'd seen my brain.
Yeah, that really is too much detail.
And a big hole in the side of his face going up here.
Too much now.
Little in here.
My eyeball as well, like I think I've scraped my eyeball on the floor because all my skin's dead thin round here and that now on my eye.
I've got my fingers in my ears.
Face was black and blue.
Broke my neck.
Fractured spine.
Fractured my cheekbone.
Fractured jaw.
Yeah, also I lost my front teeth.
Put them back.
Gone.
Put them back. Thank you.
I'm hard as nails and I've seen some shit, but that was the worst. I was like 33 years old, but still my baby.
Although Graham's head was held together with sticky tape and his eyes had gone all weird, at least the hospital was near the beach. So that made up for everything.
Yeah, Thai hospitals are good, like the food were good and it's just nice having beach at front of hospital, you know. To get out into the sun and get some food and then back to my bed.
Any final thoughts, Graham?
Best holiday I ever had, really, yeah. It was good.
I'd hate to hear what the worst holiday he'd ever had was. Graham might not remember the accident, but at least he had an idea which planet he was on. This bloke's got everything he needs for a cracking afternoon on a Thai beach. Day-glow shorts, check. Wacky glasses, check. Completely out of touch with reality, check. He's certainly enjoying the crack. Not sure anyone else is, though. So that's why it's called a full moon party. But inventing a whole new form of dancing isn't enough for this intrepid world explorer. Oh no. He's got another trick up his sleeve. Or down his pants. There's only one way to end the perfect day. Of course, salute the magnificent sunset by dancing into the sea with his trousers round his ankles. Keep going, mate. Keep going. That's it. Carry on. Keep going. Get in the sea. Travel is supposed to broaden the mind, but there's some experiences it's best to avoid. The Moss family wanted a nice, peaceful holiday, so they took a relaxing boat trip around the Thai islands. Well, maybe not that relaxing.
We were travelling from Krabi to Phuket on a massive ferry. I actually had food poisoning the morning of us travelling there.
Thai food will do that. No surprises there, but what happened next was truly shocking.
I came out the toilet, I went upstairs and went and sat down inside. There was just black gushes of smoke coming past me. As I turned around, there was screams and blazes of, obviously, orange, red, just blazes of smoke, fire, gushing out of the back of the boat.
It turned out that sudden engine failure had turned the ferry into a ball of flames.
Things started to explode, and I think that's when we was like, we need to jump.
Your survival instincts, you're going to jump. You don't care what's in the water, you're just going to jump because you're trying to survive.
I can't swim, so it was to know that I was going to have to jump into this water, you know, and try and have to swim for my life.
But jumping from a burning boat is a dangerous business.
My mum actually got pushed under the boat, and then he actually went after her.
Pulled her out.
Yeah, pulled her the other side.
Everyone's in survival mode, so it's every man for themselves, basically. That's what it seems like.
After what must have seemed like an age in the water, help finally arrived. Sort of.
It's a speedboat and it came across, and then first thing he did was just whipped out his phone, started recording it. We were like, obviously, help, 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 and he was just standing there recording it.
What a hero.
Eventually threw a rope out, and they roped us all in, me, my mum, my sister.
And behaviour in the water sounds even worse.
This guy grabbed me and pulled me out of the way so then he can get onto the boat, and then a couple helped me get up. But yeah, he did grab me and got on the boat himself and didn't even help me.
They might have been out of the water, but the family were far from out of the water.
We couldn't find my dad, he was nowhere to be seen. And then, as we were on the speedboat, there was like an explosion on the boat, and we got really worried, and I was going to jump in to try and find my dad, because I was worried sick.
Dad, say no! Please!
My mum literally stopped me, pulled me back, said, "You're not going in there." And then, as she did that, I actually spotted him with his hat on, just floating in the water. It was just a relief to see him alive, basically. More boats started coming out, so we went then to shore on that speedboat with Maisie and my mum. And
we were just all praying that Dad was going to come on another boat.
And yeah, eventually a boat came in and he was on it. You wouldn't think going on holiday in your travels that you'd be ending up in a boat fire at the end of your holidays, and you never know when your last day is going to be.
An extraordinary experience, but one that's not put the family off visiting the land of smiles in the future.
I'm not going to let one horrible thing
I might get on a
change my mind.
speedboat instead of a ferry.
Yeah, yeah, I'd just be worried about getting on a ferry, maybe not do that.
When people are about to get married, they can't wait to get on a plane with their mates, fly somewhere hot and get down to some serious stag and hen partying. and camera phone in hand, it usually involves dressing up and drinking games.
He don't look happy, does he?
This Spanish bar has come up with a perfect cocktail of the two for visiting grooms. The necessary ingredients are a tin hat on the lucky chap, a barmaid standing on the bar, and lots of heavy metal objects. Game on! There's drink one, smoothly down. And his reward is... a bash on the bones with an ice bucket. Well, he only seems partially concussed by that, so what's next? A shovel? What kind of bar keeps a shovel handy? The champ's still standing. How much punishment can he take? This next cocktail is called the fire extinguisher. Why? Because when you drink it, bang! You get a fire extinguisher chaser. Hit him again. One more. OMG, he's still in the game! What's the barmaid got for a finale? Of course, an oil drum. Every cocktail bar has one, they just don't tell you about it. I think he might have a bit of a headache in the morning. And the morning after that. And the morning after that. At least for that drinking game, he had some sort of protection. All this unfortunate stag had to rely on was the strength of his face. Knockout! Next time, maybe just a quiet half a shandy, eh? It's not just stag parties that get up to weird drinking games. This bride-to-be has gone abroad for her hen do and possibly gone a bit overboard on celebrations. This is the traditional sport of bridal table clambering. It's not as easy as it looks. Oh, she's lost her drink. And her dignity. A stag do classic now. We've come across loads of people doing this prank. It must be absolutely hilarious. I can't wait. So, what have we got? Right, I see. They've got the stag all dressed up, okay? And he's blindfolded. And they've told him he's doing a bungee. They've even got a proper instructor roped in. This is going to be great. Don't you dare go anywhere.
All right, so whenever you're ready, just pull. It's up to you. Right, cool. So do you want to do us a countdown?
5,
4, 3, 2, 1.
Go.
Go!
Is that it? Is that really the best they could come up with for a stag do? I wouldn't hold your breath for the best man speech. At least that guy wasn't trying to annoy anyone. Unlike this man, these staggers have come up with a way to embarrass the groom and everyone else on the plane.
Come on, everyone.
A little sing-song. That's irritating, but not that bad. Ah, hot pants, high heels. Can it get any worse? Of course it can. Twerking. Having said that, some of the passengers seem to be quite enjoying it, especially the men. Like that guy in the white vest. Tell you what, he has got some smooth moves. Definitely more fun than the standard pre-flight safety briefing. Getting into trouble on a stag or hen do. Well, it goes with the territory. But some people are already getting the party started before they've even left the tarmac. This Ryanair flight from Alicante to Liverpool is yet to take off. But one hen party seem to be taking offence at being told where to put their hand luggage. This hennish behaviour means the other passengers are stuck on the tarmac until someone backs down. Luckily for us, one of them had his camera at the ready. Keep an eye on the lady with the big earrings, because this is a face-off. Cabin crew versus hen party.
This is quite funny, this.
This could still go either way. Maybe they've been in the sun a little bit too long. That can make you cranky. I'm still trying to work out how they got these earrings through security.
Get your bag, get your bag.
And that's it. It's all over. You You know, you may want to look at your life choices when you get a round of applause for getting off a plane. It's a victory for the cabin crew. And the plucky hens weren't quite so chirpy when reportedly the Spanish police were waiting to arrest and breathalyze them. Bet it's going to be a really fun wedding. That's enough stagging and henning caught on camera for now. But before we move on, cast your eyes over this. When these lads on holiday were on their way back from a rowdy weekend away, they'd stashed a surprise in their mate's bag. Can you guess what happened next? Ah, of course. It's a dildo strapped to a water bottle. That old trick. Trust airport security. They'll only stop you when you're carrying a dangerously huge dildo if it's strapped to a bottle with over 100 millilitres of liquid. Hey, rules are rules. They would have put it in the amnesty bin, but the slot wasn't big enough.
Hey, I want that back. I paid good money for that.
When people go on holiday with a load of mates, normal rules seem to go out of the window. For some reason, it often involves overindulging in cheap holiday alcohol and misbehaving. And it turns out Brits are very good at coming up with innovative new ways of doing both. Why not stick a camera on the end of the bottle so you can have a video memento of mental behaviour? A great idea. You can watch it back and see who gave you that cold sore. Some clever holidaymakers don't even need their hands. This is not easy. Technique is everything here. Oh, she's obviously been practicing at home. And that's it. Down in one. She does that at every party. It's certainly livened up her nan's wake. Holiday misbehaviour doesn't have to be drinking-based. This man was set up by his mates with a lap dance. No one could have predicted what would happen next. Apart from his mate...
The chair's gonna break.
Oh! Who did? You should ask for a refund, fella. I reckon that chair was faulty. And when the evening ends, holidaymakers all need something to soak up the alcohol. But the fast food restaurant isn't always a safe haven from bad behaviour.
So we've gone over to Benidorm. I think we'd been there 3 or 4 days. We decided we were going to call it an early night, and that's why we went over to the chicken shop to go and get our food quite early.
When it kicked off in a Benidorm KFC, Luke had his camera phone ready. These British holidaymakers were all minding their own business in the queue. But somebody said the wrong thing, and very soon it was chicken buckets at dawn. There was no way terrible violence like this could continue. And the brave staff were quick to get involved and try to stop it. Ah, someone's still trying to get their order in. But suddenly, there were scuffles breaking out all over the restaurant. But once the staff got organised, the punching turned to wrestling. It's not exactly what I call a happy meal, but eventually it all calmed down and nobody was hurt. There's Luke, the man with the camera. He looked like he enjoyed it. As a martial artist, what did he make of this deep-fried dust-up?
People just jumped into the melee from all over, pushing each other. A lot of schoolyard sort of thing you see when you're 7 or 8, you know, bumping into each other. Most of the punches were what we would call in the game arm punches, where you're just throwing with your fists rather than getting your whole body into it. They all had the chins high in the air. There was no real technique there. One point, I think it was after the video, one of the staff, he went back behind the counter and he came back with, all I could see was a shiny metal object in his hand. So I thought, oh no, he's going to get a knife. but it turned out it was a spatula. And he actually hit someone over the head with a spatula. And I just thought of a Monty Python clip or some sort of John Cleese hitting someone in Fawlty Towers or something like that. It was hilarious, to be honest. I'm actually upset that I didn't catch that on camera, because that would have been hilarious.
Remember, fighting in KFC is never a good idea. Much better to just get some spicy wings. When we go on holiday, most people are looking for a bit of sun, a bit of a laugh, and some decent accommodation. So what does our next holidaymaker want from his hotel room?
I only have a hotel room on the bottom floor near an exit door, so I can get out. I will memorise and learn all the routes to the airport.
Blimey, that is picky. Why? Well, it's because this man is Andrew Drury, danger tourist. When he's not running a building firm in Guildford, he likes to travel to countries that most of us would pay money to avoid. But just how dangerous is he?
The place I've been to, I've travelling over 25 years, but it's closer to 30. I've been to over 100 countries. Korea, Somalia, Iran, Iraq, the Bosnian War, Chechnya, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Syria, Libya. Anywhere you think that's had a war, I've been there.
Yep, they all sound pretty dangerous. And one of his favourite holiday destinations is Mogadishu, the capital of war-torn Somalia. Like most tourists, when Andrew visits a new place, he's keen to take in the sights. In Mogadishu, it's a bit more hardcore than a trip to Madame Tussauds, and you need armed guards. There's the monument to the unknown soldier, with added bullet holes. There's the downed Russian freight plane on the main road. And of course, the local market, where the food could not be fresher. Mate, you could just go to Paris, you know. They've got the Eiffel Tower. Ah, suit yourself. After a tiring morning of sightseeing, like all of us, Andrew likes to kick back on the beach.
Mogadishu's got one of the best beaches called Lido Beach.
This is a place, you've got all these people, they're quite resilient because just 3 days ago, 20 got killed just up the road. Unbelievable.
I've got some mates on the beach. I go and play football with these young kids. I was really at unease of having really 3 or 4 guards. I felt really guilty. I've got all these kids, and I kind of didn't really want the guards. But even the guards started playing football with me in the end. Football is a great leveller, believe me.
At least on that holiday, Andrew didn't get shot at. Unlike when he popped over to Iraq and ended up driving into the middle of a shootout with ISIS.
Getting closer and closer, and you can hear mortar attack. You go, this is front line, this is the proper stuff, and your heart starts pumping, adrenaline, realising you've got no bulletproof jackets, no hats, and you're basically got a pair of flip-flops on.
Just been asked the question whether we have flat jackets and helmets. Give you indication that this front line might well be active. We haven't, but I don't think that will prevent us moving further forward.
Somewhere like that, at least a sun hat and some Factor 50 would be advisable. But lack of suitable clothing doesn't put off a danger tourist like Andrew.
3 or 4 days earlier, been seeing my blokes on a building site. 3 days later, I'm in Iraq, in Kirkuk, watching a battle go off.
That was all a bit serious, talking about holidays in active war zones. Andy, look, why don't you go somewhere easy for once, like the USA? Maybe check out Disneyland or Universal Studios.
Okay, bit of an update. We're on the road now, Highway 7 North, up to the KKK compound.
Huh, right. Or pose as a right-wing sympathiser and infiltrate the Ku Klux Klan, of course. Once Andy and his trusty cousin had lied their way in, Klan leader Travis Pierce gave them a personal tour of his KKK compound. As well as showing off their very smart uniform, modelled here by Ronnie, Travis was keen to explain to Andrew and Nigel that when it comes to setting crosses on fire, health and safety considerations always come first.
We're dealing with live fire.
Yeah.
We're dealing with fire all around. We're dealing with people in robes. We're dealing with guests and other people. So there's a lot of preparation because we want it to be done safely. We want it to be done for the right reason. And so we work very hard on making certain that this is a good experience for everybody.
Apart from anyone who's offended by what the Ku Klux Klan stands for. But it's good to know that there's no danger of those polyester Klan robes catching fire. So where we might see war, violence, and the threat of imminent death, danger tourists like Andrew see the chance for a smashing holiday. It might not be everyone's cup of tea, but what does Andrew get out of it?
I don't know why my mind and my need to do this happens. It's not something you can sit and go, and I try to think about it. Why do I do it? I don't know, I just do it. Don't need a reason.
Before we move on, check out this rookie drone pilot on holiday who took his new toy out for a spin to check out an apartment block. His camera caught rather more than he expected. Can you guess what happened next? Peekaboo! He can see you. Of course, he then does the decent thing and gets out of the poor girl's airspace, right? Wrong. He goes in for a closer look. She's got a decision to make. Run away or fight back with the weapon of choice of all sunbathers, the trusty broom. Even on a trip as memorable as a wedding holiday, people are always trying to get one up on everyone else on Instagram. Like this pair of newlyweds. Honestly, I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen. Right, both of you, big wave for the camera. Well, they've only just tied the knot, and already this marriage is in troubled waters. Well, at least they both see the funny side of it. And the snaps are going to be unique. The photographer won't even need to add his own watermarks. Now, it seems that as holidaymakers, we're spending less time than ever soaking up the sights and sounds and spending more time peacocking around in front of cameras in pursuit of the perfect holiday selfie. Yeah, I bet that's ruffled our feathers. This is Venice, honestly. City of water and seagulls. It's the perfect place for a photo opportunity. Everywhere you point the camera is beautiful, which is why this man is determined to get a shot of himself next to its picturesque canals. I think you need to get a little bit nearer to the canal. A little bit nearer. Yep, I reckon that's close enough now. Tell you what, though, that was an excellent save on his phone. Ah, good. These two tourists are going to help him out. Nah, maybe not. At least his jeans are shrink to fit. When it comes to taking photos in foreign climes, this guy is an expert.
Hi, I'm Lee, and I guess you could say I'm a little bit of a thrill seeker.
Yes, Lee's a thrill seeker and photographer who's taken some pretty extraordinary trips in search of a shot.
So the hairiest moment I've ever had, I think, was in Tahrir Square in Cairo in Egypt. And yeah, it just got really violent on the streets and people were shooting up at my balcony. A sniper in a helicopter was informed to shoot me down.
After an experience like that, Lee chose to use his passion for photography for something a little less gritty and decided he was going to take the ultimate holiday selfie.
I needed a big idea that would go insanely viral, and I didn't know what it was. But I saw some pictures of some workmen popping their heads out of Christ the Redeemer statue in Rio, and they were fixing some lightning damage on the top of the statue. And I just immediately saw it and thought, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the top of there, and I'm going to take a selfie.
All right. I can't foresee any problems with that plan.
It wasn't that simple. They don't let anybody up to the top of Christ the Redeemer.
Don't they? Lee needed an in, and he went straight to the man at the top.
So I basically stalked the head of the church in Rio de Janeiro and said, you've got to let me to the top of Christ the Redeemer statue. I need to take a picture. I really show Brazil in a really positive light. And I think it's going to go viral and just really make Brazil look amazing. And to my surprise, he said, you're crazy, but come back here tomorrow morning and I'll do my best. And I came back the following morning. He was 2 hours late, but I stayed there. And he thought I was so crazy, he just kept saying, you're a crazy Englishman, and basically ordered one of the builders who was fixing the lightning damage to walk to the top of Christ the Redeemer with me and let me in there and do whatever I like for about an hour and a half.
Yeah, that sounds entirely legit. Any more weirdly implausible details to add?
You go into this little door in Jesus Christ's feet. It's a bit weird.
Bingo!
And you walk around this spiral staircase right to the top. So actually, this is me climbing towards the head of Christ the Redeemer statue. You can see the light bursting in through that hole there. At this point, it must have been about 35, 40 degrees in there. It was boiling hot. I was sweating like crazy. And to be honest, my heart was pounding because I was thinking, when I get to the top, I cannot balls this up. This is the picture, the best picture I'm going to take. And I knew all the time that this was going to go viral. I just knew this was a gem of a picture.
All right, thrill seeker. We'll be the judge of that.
The light, the sunlight bursts through. And at this point, I got excited. I was thinking, this is the picture. And this bit now, as I poked my head around this hole and just saw that view.
Whoa! Christ on a Brazilian mountain.
It was mental. It was absolutely crazy.
Not as crazy as you strapping a camera to a seagull to get that photo.
As I popped my head out of the top of Christ the Redeemer statue, it took my breath away. It was the most beautiful sight I've ever seen. You could see every single corner of Rio. And actually, the first thing that caught my eye was the people at the plinth of the bottom of Christ the Redeemer statue were so tiny, and all looking up at me and clapping and going, how the hell did that guy get up there?
My Portuguese is rusty, but I think they're saying jump, English, jump.
It's, to this day, the best moment of my life. After taking in this awesome view from the top, I got myself down by the rope, and overnight, that picture and the video received 100 million impressions worldwide. It's one of the most viral pictures ever. It then went viral a second time when people started to notice a very unfortunate angle on Jesus Christ. I didn't mean to do it at the time, but yeah, I'm sure you'll see it on the picture.
Sorry, I don't know what you mean. Oh, right. You're talking about his Holy Trinity. It put the erection in resurrection. So that's it for this time, but come back soon, because as we've seen, there's a whole world of brilliant holiday videos out there. So what are you waiting for? Go on, dive in!